What does it take to truly achieve success? Is it talent, luck, or simply knowing the right people? While all of these might play a role, real, lasting success is built through something much simpler but often overlooked: habits. The habits we build and reinforce each day shape our lives and drive us toward or away from our goals. This book, Success Dynamics: Develop Habits for Achievement, is designed to guide you in creating the habits that will empower you to reach your full potential. Throughout the chapters, you'll learn how to cultivate a growth mindset, build consistency, and stay motivated even when challenges arise. With practical exercises, relatable examples, and hands-on reflection points, this journey is tailored to make habit building accessible and achievable. No matter where you're starting from, this book will provide you with the tools and strategies to turn ambition into action and build a foundation for lifelong success. Chapter 1: Starting Strong: Building a Foundation for Success. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to naturally move closer to their goals, one step at a time? It might look like luck or effortless talent, but there's a more powerful and accessible force at play: their habits. Building habits for success starts with understanding that the foundation we lay today sets the course for our future. Just like constructing a house requires a strong, sturdy base, achieving our goals and dreams relies on establishing a foundation built on positive, consistent actions. In this chapter, we'll explore how to begin forming that foundation and why it matters so much to the success journey ahead. The key concept here is starting intentionally. Many of us have big ambitions and goals, but often we struggle to translate those dreams into actionable steps. Imagine someone who dreams of running a marathon but has never laced up their running shoes. Without a clear plan and a solid starting point, that goal remains just a wish. To transform dreams into reality, we need to start with small, deliberate actions that gradually become part of our daily routine. When you focus on creating achievable, positive habits, you set yourself up for steady, reliable progress. The beauty of habits is that they can turn a seemingly impossible goal into a series of manageable, even enjoyable actions. Let's look at a real-life example of this. Consider someone who wants to become more organized and productive at work. Perhaps they often find themselves overwhelmed, not knowing where to start with their daily tasks, which leads to procrastination and stress. To tackle this, they might begin each morning with just 5 minutes of planning. At first, it's a small act, almost unnoticeable, but as they continue, it becomes a natural part of their routine. Soon, this simple habit of morning planning leads to greater organization, improved focus, and less stress throughout the day. By the end of a few weeks, they may find themselves handling work projects more efficiently, simply because they made it a habit to start each day with intention. This example highlights a critical point. Starting with small, manageable habits is often more powerful than attempting drastic changes overnight. When we aim too high, too fast, we risk feeling discouraged or burned out. But by starting with achievable steps, we build confidence and begin to see the progress that fuels motivation. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. As you take one positive step, then another, those actions will eventually accumulate, making a real difference. Now you might be wondering, how do I choose which habits to start with? The answer lies in understanding your personal values and long-term goals. If you're aiming to become healthier, for instance, you could start with a daily walk, or a commitment to drink more water. If you're focused on career growth, maybe it's dedicating 15 minutes a day to learning a new skill. These habits should align with your core aspirations, so each time you take action, it's a reminder of the bigger picture you're working toward. When your habits reflect your goals, you'll find them easier to sustain and more meaningful to carry forward. It's also essential to celebrate each small success along the way. When we acknowledge our efforts, even in small ways, we reinforce the behavior, making it more likely that we'll continue. Think of it like planting seeds. Each habit you nurture is a tiny seed that over time grows into something impactful. As you celebrate these small wins, whether it's completing a week of a new habit or noticing a slight improvement in your mindset, you strengthen your foundation for success. Here's another example to illustrate the importance of starting strong. Take, for instance, a person who wants to improve their personal finances. They may feel daunted by the idea of saving a large amount or investing. Instead of trying to overhaul their finances in one go, they start by saving just a small percentage of each paycheck. At first, the amount may seem insignificant, but over time, they see their savings grow. As the habit becomes routine, they feel more confident in managing their finances and may even explore budgeting or investing. By starting with a simple, achievable step, they build a foundation of financial discipline that will benefit them for years to come. The main takeaway from this chapter is that every journey of achievement begins with a single intentional step. No matter what your goals are, building a foundation for success is about creating habits that align with those goals and making them part of your routine. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or feeling that you need to change everything all at once, commit to one small action that brings you closer to your dream. Over time, as you build these habits, you'll find that the foundation for success is no longer a distant hope, but a reality you're actively creating. As you finish reading this chapter, take a moment to reflect. What is one small habit I could start today that aligns with my goals? Think about something realistic, something that won't feel overwhelming, but will bring you closer to where you want to be. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes a day, practicing gratitude, or taking a few moments to organize your workspace. Whatever it is, write it down and commit to it for the next week. See how this one habit, no matter how small, begins to shift your perspective and build your foundation for success. Chapter 2, Mindset Shift, Embracing a Growth-Oriented Outlook. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to bounce back from setbacks, always ready to try again, while others quickly lose hope? The difference often lies in their mindset. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of adopting a growth mindset, an outlook that can change how we approach challenges, view ourselves, and ultimately achieve our goals. A growth-oriented mindset isn't just about thinking positively, it's about believing in our potential to grow, adapt, and improve through effort and experience. With a growth mindset, we see setbacks as learning opportunities rather than roadblocks, which becomes a powerful foundation for creating habits that lead to long-term success. At its core, a growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence aren't fixed, they can be developed over time. People with a growth mindset embrace challenges, persist through difficulties, and are open to feedback, all because they see themselves as capable of learning and evolving. On the other hand, a fixed mindset, which assumes abilities are static and unchangeable, can lead us to avoid challenges, fear failure, and give up more easily. For instance, imagine a student who struggles with math. If they have a fixed mindset, they might think, "I'm just not good at math," and stop trying to improve. However, with a growth mindset, they'd approach the challenge differently. Math is tough for me right now, but with practice, I can get better. This shift in mindset doesn't only apply to academics, it's relevant to any area of our lives, including career goals, relationships, and personal growth. Consider a professional who wants to improve their public speaking skills. If they believe they're naturally bad at it, they might avoid speaking opportunities out of fear of failure or embarrassment. But if they see speaking as a skill they can develop, they're more likely to embrace opportunities to practice, even if they're uncomfortable at first. Over time, as they continue to practice and refine their abilities, their confidence and skill level increase. This transformation happens because they've embraced the idea that improvement is possible with effort and commitment. To adopt a growth mindset, it helps to understand that failure is a necessary part of the learning process. People with a growth mindset don't see failure as a reflection of their abilities. Instead, they see it as feedback, a way to learn what went wrong and how to improve next time. Take the example of an entrepreneur who launches a new product that fails to gain traction. With a fixed mindset, they might see this failure as proof that they're not cut out for entrepreneurship, leading them to abandon their business dreams. However, with a growth mindset, they'd analyze the experience, identify what didn't work, and use that knowledge to refine their approach. They might tweak the product, adjust their marketing strategy, or explore a different target audience. The willingness to learn from failure is what ultimately paves the way to future success. Embracing a growth mindset also involves being open to feedback and recognizing it as a valuable resource for improvement. Receiving constructive criticism can feel uncomfortable, especially if we're used to interpreting feedback as a personal attack. But with a growth mindset, feedback becomes an opportunity for insight and progress. For example, if a manager provides feedback to an employee on how to improve their presentation skills, a fixed mindset might cause the employee to feel discouraged or defensive. However, a growth-oriented outlook would lead the employee to view the feedback as guidance to help them grow. By applying the suggestions, they develop skills they might not have reached on their own. One way to cultivate a growth mindset is to practice self-reflection and reframe our thoughts. When faced with a setback, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Rather than seeing it as a failure, view it as a stepping stone in your development. Even small changes in language can make a big difference. Instead of saying, I can't do this, try, I can't do this yet. This subtle shift reinforces the idea that your abilities can grow over time. The word yet adds a sense of possibility, reminding you that improvement is possible with practice and persistence. Let's look at another relatable example. Imagine someone who wants to become physically fit but has struggled to maintain a regular exercise routine. In the past, they might have seen each missed workout as a failure, leading them to give up altogether. But by adopting a growth mindset, they begin to view each missed workout not as a reason to quit, but as a learning opportunity. Maybe they recognize that exercising in the evening leads to inconsistency, so they try switching to a morning routine, or perhaps they realize they need a workout buddy to stay motivated. Instead of abandoning their goal, they adapt and adjust, keeping the focus on gradual improvement rather than perfection. As you can see, adopting a growth mindset is an empowering shift that allows us to approach challenges with curiosity and resilience. It helps us move beyond the limitations of self-doubt and embrace the belief that we can learn and grow. Over time, this mindset leads to a more fulfilled, successful life, because it opens doors to new opportunities and builds resilience in the face of difficulties. When we believe in our ability to improve, we're more likely to take risks, step outside our comfort zones, and push ourselves to achieve things we once thought impossible. To put this into practice, start by reflecting on your current mindset in different areas of your life. Think about a goal or skill you want to work on. Ask yourself, do I believe I can improve in this area with effort, or am I holding myself back with self-doubt? If you notice a fixed mindset creeping in, challenge it. Remind yourself that growth takes time and that each effort you make brings you closer to your goal. To close this chapter, here's a question to guide your reflection. What is one area of your life where you can start adopting a growth mindset? Whether it's a skill you want to develop, a goal you're working toward, or a challenge you're facing, think about how you can approach it with an open, growth-oriented outlook. Embrace each step forward, each lesson learned, and remember, every bit of progress, no matter how small, is a step toward achieving your dreams. Chapter 3. Consistency is key. Developing daily routines that stick. What separates those who reach their goals from those who merely set them? Often the answer is consistency. In this chapter, we'll explore why being consistent is one of the most powerful tools for achieving success, and how developing steady daily routines can make your progress almost inevitable. Consistency is the invisible thread that weaves our intentions into reality, turning small, regular actions into meaningful, lasting results. By establishing routines that support our goals, we create a structure that makes it easier to stay on track, even when motivation fluctuates. With consistency, you don't need to rely on bursts of inspiration. You can rely on the rhythm of your habits. At its core, consistency means showing up, even when it's challenging or inconvenient. When we commit to something on a regular basis, we're reinforcing it as part of who we are. This is particularly important in a world filled with distractions and competing demands on our time. Imagine someone who wants to write a book but only writes sporadically, whenever inspiration strikes. It would take them much longer to reach their goal compared to someone who dedicates just 30 minutes every day to writing. Consistency, even in small doses, yields results over time because it compounds, gradually building toward our objectives. One of the key reasons consistency works so effectively is that it reduces the mental energy required to take action. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't have to debate with yourself every morning and night about whether to do it. It's an automatic part of your day. This same principle applies to any habit. When we create routines, we eliminate the need for constant decision-making and willpower. By consistently following a routine, we make our goals feel less like a monumental task and more like a natural part of our lifestyle. Let's look at a real-life example to illustrate this. Consider someone who wants to improve their physical fitness but has struggled to stick to a workout regimen in the past. Instead of committing to an intense, overwhelming exercise routine, they start with just 10 minutes of exercise each morning. Over time, this small routine becomes a natural part of their day. As it becomes easier and more automatic, they may gradually increase the intensity or length of their workouts. After a few months, they might find that they're regularly working out for half an hour or more each day, but it doesn't feel like a chore because it's part of their daily rhythm. By starting small and committing to consistency, they've developed a fitness habit that's manageable and sustainable. Consistency also helps us build momentum, which can be incredibly motivating. Each time we complete a task, even if it's small, we reinforce our belief in our ability to stick to our goals. This creates a positive feedback loop. The more consistent we are, the more progress we make, and the more progress we make, the more motivated we feel to continue. Picture someone who wants to learn a new language. They might begin by studying for just 5 minutes a day. At first, the progress may feel slow, but as they continue daily, they start to recognize more words and understand simple sentences. The excitement of seeing this progress motivates them to keep studying, and what began as 5 minutes a day may grow into a more immersive learning experience. By staying consistent, they've built momentum that makes learning enjoyable and rewarding. It's also important to recognize that consistency doesn't mean perfection. There will inevitably be days when life gets in the way and you might miss a step in your routine. The key is not to let a missed day or two derail your efforts. Instead, view consistency as an ongoing commitment rather than a strict rule. Just as missing one day of brushing your teeth won't lead to cavities if you get back to it the next day, missing a day in your routine doesn't erase your progress. What matters most is your ability to bounce back and keep going. People who succeed in maintaining consistent habits are those who show themselves grace when they slip up and return to their routines without guilt or self-criticism. Another helpful strategy for building consistency is to link new habits with existing ones. This technique, often called habit stacking, involves attaching a new habit to something you already do daily. For example, if you want to start journaling, you could do it right after you have your morning coffee. The existing habit of drinking coffee becomes a trigger for the new habit, making it easier to remember and stick to. Over time, the two habits become associated and you're less likely to forget or skip the new one. By stacking habits, you create a chain of positive actions that reinforce one another, making consistency more achievable. Consider the example of someone who wants to read more but struggles to find time. Instead of setting aside a random 30 minutes each day, they decide to read for a few minutes before going to bed, right after brushing their teeth. By attaching the reading habit to their bedtime routine, it quickly becomes a regular part of their evening. As the habit takes root, they may find themselves reading more each night, but because it's linked to an existing routine, it feels natural rather than forced. This approach makes it much easier to maintain consistency without having to overhaul their entire schedule. The power of consistency lies in its simplicity. You don't need extraordinary willpower, endless motivation, or perfect conditions to achieve your goals. All you need is a commitment to small, regular actions. When you focus on consistency rather than intensity, you set yourself up for sustainable success. Over time, these small, daily actions build on each other, leading to meaningful progress and eventually remarkable results. Remember, the journey to success isn't about grand gestures or sudden transformations. It's about the steady accumulation of small, intentional actions. As we wrap up this chapter, think about one area in your life where consistency could make a difference. Ask yourself, what is one small action I could commit to daily that would bring me closer to my goals? Whether it's 5 minutes of meditation, writing a few sentences in a journal, or spending a few moments organizing your space, start with something achievable. Write down your commitment and set a reminder to do it every day. In the coming weeks, observe how this small act, repeated consistently, begins to shape your path toward success. Chapter 4. Small Wins, Big Gains, Harnessing the Power of Progress. Have you ever set a big goal, only to feel overwhelmed or discouraged by how far you still had to go? Many people experience this when they focus solely on the end result, forgetting that progress is built through small, consistent victories along the way. In this chapter, we'll dive into the power of small wins and how celebrating these seemingly minor achievements can fuel our motivation, build confidence, and create unstoppable momentum. By recognizing and appreciating each step forward, we can shift our focus from the daunting journey ahead to the satisfaction of steady progress, bringing us closer to our ultimate goals. Small wins are the building blocks of success. These are the tiny steps we take each day that on their own may seem insignificant, but collectively lead to powerful transformation. Imagine a person who sets out to lose 20 pounds. If they focus only on the final number, the journey can feel long and challenging, with little reward until the goal is reached. But if they set smaller milestones, like aiming to lose 1 or 2 pounds at a time, each small achievement becomes a source of pride and motivation. They might feel encouraged to keep going after seeing the first pound drop, then the next. Each small win reassures them that their efforts are paying off, making the path to the larger goal feel achievable and within reach. A significant reason why small wins are so powerful is that they create a sense of momentum. Momentum is the feeling of forward movement, the sense that we're actively progressing towards something meaningful. When we achieve a small victory, no matter how minor, it reinforces our belief that we're capable of reaching our goals. This boost in confidence and motivation propels us forward, making it easier to tackle the next step. Consider a writer who has a goal to complete a book. If they set out to write the entire manuscript in one go, the task would seem overwhelming. But if they aim to write just 1 page a day, each completed page serves as a small win, steadily moving them closer to their finished book. The daily accomplishment of writing 1 page builds momentum, helping them to stay engaged and motivated until the book is complete. Another benefit of focusing on small wins is that it makes progress more tangible. When we have big goals, it can sometimes be difficult to measure our success, especially if the journey is long and requires ongoing effort. Small wins allow us to see that we're making progress, even if the changes are incremental. Let's take the example of someone who wants to improve their public speaking skills. Rather than focusing on becoming an expert overnight, they could break down their goal into smaller steps, like speaking up in a meeting, delivering a short presentation to a small group, or practicing in front of a mirror. Each small win, such as receiving positive feedback from a colleague or feeling more comfortable speaking, reminds them that they're improving. These small successes not only track their progress but also reinforce their belief in their ability to reach their goal. Embracing small wins also helps us build resilience. Every journey comes with its setbacks, and big goals are often accompanied by challenges. By focusing on small achievements along the way, we develop a positive outlook and learn to appreciate progress, even when obstacles arise. Imagine someone training for a marathon who faces an injury midway through their training. Instead of feeling defeated, they shift their focus to smaller wins, like regaining strength or running short distances as they recover. These small milestones remind them that, while the journey may have temporarily changed, progress is still possible. This resilience, cultivated through small wins, helps them stay committed and optimistic, even in the face of challenges. Let's look at a real-life example of this in the workplace. Suppose an employee aims for a promotion but feels overwhelmed by the skills they need to develop to qualify. Instead of focusing solely on the end goal of the promotion, they can set smaller, manageable objectives like improving their presentation skills, mastering a specific software, or volunteering for leadership opportunities within their team. Each time they complete one of these steps, it serves as a small win that builds their confidence and skills. Eventually, these small victories accumulate, putting them in a stronger position to earn the promotion. By breaking down the goal, they've made it approachable and achievable, transforming a daunting aspiration into a series of satisfying milestones. To harness the power of small wins, it helps to set clear, actionable goals. Vague goals can make it difficult to identify what constitutes a win. But when we set specific targets, each completed step becomes a small victory we can celebrate. For instance, rather than setting a goal to be healthier, someone might decide to drink an extra glass of water each day, add a vegetable to each meal, or walk for 10 minutes after lunch. Each of these actions is a small, attainable goal that supports the larger objective. By setting specific targets, we're more likely to see and appreciate our progress, keeping us motivated to continue. Celebrating small wins is another important aspect of this approach. When we take a moment to acknowledge our accomplishments, no matter how minor, we reinforce our commitment and enthusiasm. It doesn't have to be a grand celebration. Even a mental note, a journal entry, or a brief pause to reflect on the achievement can be enough to recognize the progress. For example, someone trying to build a daily meditation habit might reward themselves with a few moments of reflection after each session, reminding themselves of the benefits they're gaining. Celebrating these moments strengthens the habit and makes the process more enjoyable, encouraging continued effort. As we embrace small wins, we create a positive cycle of achievement. Each small success boosts our motivation, builds our confidence, and strengthens our belief in our ability to reach our goals. Over time, these small wins lead to big gains, turning aspirations into reality through the power of gradual, steady progress. By focusing on what we can accomplish today, rather than worrying about how far we have to go, we make our goals feel attainable and our journey more fulfilling. To close this chapter, consider this. What is one small step you could take today that would bring you closer to a goal you've set for yourself? Take a moment to think about a specific action, no matter how small, that supports your larger objective. It could be as simple as writing down an idea, setting aside 5 minutes to learn something new, or reaching out to someone for advice. Write it down and commit to taking that step. Celebrate the achievement, however small it may seem, and watch as each win brings you closer to the success you're working toward. Chapter 5: Overcoming Setbacks. Learning Resilience in Action. When we set out to achieve a goal, setbacks are often the last thing we want to think about. Yet, challenges are inevitable on the path to success, and learning to handle them can be the difference between giving up and pushing forward. In this chapter, we'll explore the concept of resilience, the ability to bounce back and keep going despite obstacles. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them with determination, learning from each experience, and growing stronger. By cultivating resilience, we turn setbacks into stepping stones, allowing us to keep moving forward on our journey. Resilience begins with our perspective on setbacks. Many people view challenges as failures or signs that they're not capable of achieving their goals. However, setbacks are a natural part of any growth process, and often they teach us lessons we couldn't learn otherwise. Take, for example, someone training for a race who suffers an injury. At first, the setback feels devastating, as it delays their training and disrupts their progress. But instead of seeing this as the end of their journey, they approach it as an opportunity to learn and adapt. They might focus on rehabilitation exercises or improve their diet to speed up recovery. When they finally get back to training, they're not only physically stronger but also more determined and mentally prepared for the race ahead. The way we talk to ourselves during setbacks also plays a significant role in building resilience. Self-talk can either empower us or hold us back. Negative self-talk, thoughts like, "I'll never get this right," or "I'm just not cut out for this," only reinforces feelings of defeat. In contrast, resilient individuals use positive self-talk to remind themselves of their capabilities and strengths. For instance, someone facing a tough exam might feel overwhelmed by the pressure. Instead of succumbing to thoughts of failure, they remind themselves, "I've faced challenges before, and I can handle this too." By reframing the setback, they focus on what they can control, like studying and preparation, rather than letting anxiety take over. This positive, empowering inner dialogue strengthens resilience, making it easier to tackle challenges with confidence. One of the most valuable skills for building resilience is flexibility. When we're too rigid in our approach, any obstacle can feel like a roadblock. Flexibility, on the other hand, allows us to adapt to changing circumstances and find alternative paths to our goals. Think about an entrepreneur launching a new business. Despite careful planning, they encounter unexpected difficulties. Perhaps a supplier falls through, or there's a sudden change in market demand. A rigid mindset might lead them to feel defeated, as if their plan has failed. But a resilient mindset helps them pivot, seeking new suppliers or adjusting their product to better fit market needs. By staying flexible, they turn a setback into an opportunity for growth and innovation, ultimately strengthening their business. Real-life examples of resilience are everywhere. Consider Thomas Edison, who famously tested thousands of materials before finding one that worked for the light bulb filament. Instead of seeing each failed attempt as a setback, he viewed them as steps in his learning process. Each failure brought him closer to a solution. This relentless pursuit, driven by resilience, is what eventually led him to success. Edison's story is a powerful reminder that setbacks are not failures but essential parts of the journey to achievement. His perspective on resilience teaches us that each attempt, even those that don't work, provides valuable information that guides us closer to our goals. Resilience is also strengthened through supportive relationships. When challenges feel overwhelming, having people who encourage us and offer perspective can make all the difference. Sharing our struggles with friends, family, or mentors allows us to process emotions and gain insights we might not see on our own. Imagine a student struggling with the demands of school and work, feeling tempted to give up on their goals. A conversation with a supportive mentor or friend can remind them of their strengths, help them identify strategies to manage their time better, and reframe the challenge as a temporary setback rather than a permanent barrier. Through these connections, they find the motivation to persevere, knowing they're not facing the challenge alone. To build resilience, it also helps to focus on past experiences where we successfully overcame challenges. Reflecting on times when we faced adversity and managed to come through reinforces our belief in our ability to handle difficult situations. For example, someone who has successfully navigated a career change or overcome a personal hardship can look back on those experiences as proof of their resilience. This reflection reminds them that they're capable of overcoming future setbacks, even if the current challenge feels daunting. By drawing strength from past achievements, they're better equipped to handle whatever lies ahead. A helpful technique for developing resilience is to break down large goals into smaller, manageable steps. Large goals can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially when obstacles arise. Breaking them down allows us to focus on immediate, achievable tasks rather than feeling daunted by the entire journey. For example, a person trying to write a book may feel discouraged by the sheer volume of work involved, especially if they experience writer's block. But by setting smaller goals, like writing 1 page a day or focusing on a single chapter, they regain control and build momentum. This approach not only makes the goal more achievable, but also strengthens their resilience, as they can manage setbacks more easily within the smaller steps. Finally, resilience involves self-compassion. When we face challenges, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, thinking we should have done better or avoided the setback altogether. However, self-compassion allows us to approach setbacks with understanding and kindness rather than criticism. When we treat ourselves with compassion, we're more likely to view challenges as natural parts of life, helping us recover more quickly and move forward. Imagine someone who starts a new job and makes a mistake in the first week. Instead of harshly criticizing themselves, they practice self-compassion, acknowledging that everyone makes mistakes and that this experience is a chance to learn and grow. This shift in perspective allows them to stay engaged and confident even after a setback. Resilience, ultimately, is about persistence. It's about finding ways to move forward even when things don't go as planned. With resilience, setbacks become less intimidating because we trust ourselves to handle whatever comes our way. Each time we overcome a challenge, we reinforce our ability to persevere, making us stronger and more prepared for future obstacles. By building resilience, we equip ourselves with a tool that will serve us in every area of our lives, from our personal goals to our professional ambitions. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on a recent setback you faced. Ask yourself, how did I respond, and what could I learn from that experience to strengthen my resilience? Think about how you might approach future challenges with a resilient mindset, focusing on flexibility, self-compassion, and the support of others. Write down one specific way you can build resilience in your life and remind yourself that each challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. Chapter 6. Optimizing time, mastering priorities and focus. How often do we feel there just isn't enough time to accomplish everything we set out to do? Time is one of our most precious resources, yet it's also one of the easiest to let slip away. This chapter is about learning to manage our time effectively by prioritizing tasks and maintaining focus. When we master our time, we're not just more productive, we're more fulfilled, able to direct our energy toward what truly matters. Optimizing time is a skill that allows us to work smarter, not harder, so that we can achieve our goals without feeling overwhelmed. A fundamental aspect of time management is prioritization, learning to determine which tasks will bring the most value and move us closer to our goals. Without clear priorities, it's easy to fill our days with activities that feel urgent but ultimately don't contribute to our progress. Imagine someone who spends hours each day checking emails and handling minor issues as they arise. They might feel productive, but they're not necessarily advancing their most important objectives. By prioritizing tasks, they could focus on high-impact activities, like completing a project that aligns with their goals or developing a new skill that will open doors in their career. Prioritization ensures that we're investing our time wisely, channeling our efforts into tasks that yield the greatest return. A helpful way to think about prioritization is through the concept of big rocks, a metaphor popularized by author Stephen Covey. Imagine you have a container that represents your day, along with a selection of big rocks, small pebbles, and sand. The big rocks symbolize your most important tasks, the ones that directly support your goals. The pebbles and sand represent smaller, less significant tasks. If you fill the container with sand and pebbles first, there's no room left for the big rocks. But if you place the big rocks in the container first, then add the pebbles and sand, everything fits. This illustrates that when we prioritize our most important tasks first, the rest of our responsibilities tend to fall into place. By focusing on the big rocks in our lives, we can ensure that our time is used meaningfully. Another key to optimizing time is learning to maintain focus on the task at hand. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, from our smartphones to social media notifications. Staying focused requires intentional effort to block out these distractions and dedicate ourselves fully to our work. Consider a writer who wants to finish a novel. If they keep checking their phone or browsing the internet, their concentration is constantly broken, and their progress slows. But if they set aside a specific time each day to write, put their phone on silent, and eliminate other distractions, they're able to immerse themselves in the task. With this level of focus, they're not only more productive, but also produce higher quality work because they're fully engaged. One way to improve focus is through time blocking, a method where you schedule specific blocks of time for particular tasks. This approach helps you structure your day so that you know exactly what you'll be working on and when. For instance, a student might set aside 1 hour each morning to study, followed by 30 minutes of exercise and then time for other responsibilities. By setting clear time blocks, they create a routine that minimizes decision fatigue, making it easier to stay focused. Time blocking also allows us to balance different aspects of our lives, ensuring that we allocate time not only for work, but also for rest, relationships, and self-care. A real-life example of time blocking can be seen in the life of Elon Musk, who uses 5-minute blocks for each task throughout his day. While this level of detail may not be practical for everyone, the principle of structuring time and assigning specific tasks to each period is highly effective. When we know exactly what we'll be doing at any given time, we reduce the likelihood of wasting time on indecision or distractions. Instead, we stay focused on the task in front of us, knowing that our schedule has set aside time for other responsibilities as well. Another technique for managing time and maintaining focus is the Pomodoro technique. This method involves working for a set period, typically 25 minutes, followed by a 5-minute break. After 4 such Pomodoros, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique is particularly useful for people who struggle with attention span, as it breaks work into manageable chunks, making it easier to maintain focus without feeling overwhelmed. Imagine someone studying for a big exam. By using the Pomodoro technique, they're able to focus intensely during each 25-minute session, knowing a short break is just around the corner. This structure helps them stay engaged and prevents burnout, making their study time more productive. It's also important to recognize that optimizing time isn't just about doing more, but about doing what matters. Productivity for the sake of productivity can lead to burnout without meaningful results. Instead, focus on tasks that align with your goals and values. For example, a business owner who wants to grow their company might prioritize networking, skill building, and strategic planning over busy work. By focusing on activities that directly support their vision, they make tangible progress without wasting energy on tasks that don't add value. This approach ensures that every hour spent is moving them closer to their objective, making their work both efficient and purposeful. Time optimization also involves setting boundaries to protect your time. Many of us find it challenging to say no to requests or commitments, even when they don't align with our priorities. Learning to set boundaries helps us protect our time for what truly matters, allowing us to avoid burnout and maintain balance. For instance, someone working on a major project might decide to decline non-essential meetings or limit social commitments during that period. By protecting their time, they're able to focus fully on their goal, making the most of their available hours without feeling overextended. To optimize time effectively, it's also helpful to reflect on your daily routines and identify areas where time may be slipping away unnoticed. For instance, if you find yourself spending excessive time on social media, consider setting specific limits for these activities. Tracking how you spend your time can be eye-opening, revealing patterns of unproductive habits and allowing you to make adjustments. A professional who discovers they're spending 2 hours each morning responding to emails might decide to set a time limit, responding only to urgent messages immediately and leaving the rest for a designated period later in the day. By making these small adjustments, they reclaim valuable time that can be invested in tasks that contribute directly to their goals. In summary, optimizing time is about prioritizing, focusing, and making intentional choices about how we spend each day. When we align our daily activities with our goals and learn to protect our time, we gain control over our schedule, reducing stress and increasing productivity. By focusing on what truly matters, we create a life that feels purposeful and fulfilling, where each day brings us closer to our dreams. As you finish this chapter, consider this question. What is one change you could make today to optimize your time and align your actions with your goals? Whether it's setting clear priorities, practicing time blocking, or limiting distractions, identify one action you can take to reclaim your time. Write it down and commit to trying it for the next week. By optimizing your time, you'll create a path toward a more focused, intentional, and rewarding life. Chapter 7. Self-Motivation Strategies. Igniting Your Inner Drive. What keeps us going, even when the road to success feels long and challenging? The answer is self-motivation, the internal drive that propels us forward despite obstacles or fatigue. This chapter explores how to cultivate and sustain self-motivation, a skill that empowers us to keep moving toward our goals regardless of external circumstances. When we learn to ignite our own motivation, we gain a powerful tool for maintaining momentum and achieving lasting success. Self-motivation becomes the spark that fuels our journey, helping us push through even when the going gets tough. Self-motivation begins with setting clear, meaningful goals. When we have a compelling reason behind what we're doing, it's easier to stay engaged and focused. Imagine someone who decides to learn a new language because they think it would be a useful skill. If they lack a personal connection to this goal, their motivation may wane quickly. Now consider someone who wants to learn a new language to connect with their heritage or communicate better with friends and family. The personal meaning behind this goal creates a strong source of motivation, one that keeps them committed even when progress feels slow. By setting goals that are personally significant, we establish a foundation for sustained motivation. Another essential component of self-motivation is breaking down larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Big goals can feel overwhelming, making it difficult to stay motivated when the end feels far away. By dividing a goal into smaller milestones, we create a sense of progress, each step serving as a mini achievement that reinforces our commitment. Take, for instance, someone training for a marathon. If they focus solely on running 26 miles, they may feel discouraged by the distance. But if they break it down into smaller goals, like running a certain distance each week, they experience consistent progress. Each small accomplishment serves as a source of motivation, making it easier to keep going. By celebrating these smaller victories, we build the momentum needed to reach the ultimate goal. Positive reinforcement is another powerful strategy for self-motivation. Our brains respond positively to rewards, and when we reinforce our actions with small rewards, we're more likely to stay motivated. This doesn't mean we need to reward ourselves with something extravagant after every task. Sometimes, even a few minutes of relaxation or a mental acknowledgement of a job well done can be enough. For example, a student studying for a difficult exam might take short breaks after completing a set amount of work. These breaks serve as a reward, helping them stay refreshed and motivated to continue. The key is to use rewards strategically to sustain motivation without letting them become a distraction from the goal. Self-motivation also thrives on visualization. When we imagine ourselves succeeding, we create a mental picture of our goal, making it feel more tangible and achievable. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's an active process where we mentally rehearse success. Picture an athlete who visualizes crossing the finish line, or a professional who imagines delivering a successful presentation. By vividly imagining these positive outcomes, they build confidence and reinforce their motivation. Visualization works because it aligns our mind with our goals, strengthening the connection between intention and action. When we can see ourselves achieving our goals, we're more likely to feel motivated to make those visions a reality. One of the most effective ways to maintain self-motivation is to cultivate a positive environment. The people we surround ourselves with, the space we work in, and the resources we use all contribute to our motivation. Surrounding ourselves with supportive friends or colleagues who encourage us can provide a boost when our motivation dips. Consider someone who wants to adopt a healthier lifestyle. If they spend time with others who value health and fitness, they're more likely to stay motivated and make positive choices. On the other hand, if they're around people who discourage their efforts or don't share their goals, staying motivated becomes harder. By creating an environment that supports our ambitions, we set ourselves up for success. Accountability is another powerful motivator. When we commit to a goal publicly or to a specific person, we create a sense of responsibility. This external accountability can help sustain our motivation, especially during challenging times. Imagine someone working on a long-term project like writing a book. By sharing their progress with a friend or joining a writer's group, they create accountability that encourages them to stay on track. The knowledge that others are aware of their goals helps them maintain focus and motivation, even when they face setbacks. Accountability doesn't have to be formal or intense. It can be as simple as checking in with a friend or mentor to share progress and discuss challenges. Finally, Practicing self-compassion is essential for maintaining self-motivation. When we're too hard on ourselves, we risk losing motivation because we associate our efforts with stress or self-criticism. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our efforts without judgment, making it easier to bounce back when we encounter obstacles. For example, if someone fails to stick to their exercise routine for a week, a harsh inner critic might cause them to feel discouraged, leading them to abandon their goal. But by practicing self-compassion, they can view the setback as a temporary challenge, not a permanent failure. This gentle, forgiving approach helps them regain motivation and renew their commitment to their goal. To keep your inner drive alive, remember that motivation isn't always a constant force. Some days we may feel highly motivated, while on others, it's harder to muster the same enthusiasm. This fluctuation is normal, and learning to work with it rather than against it can help us sustain long-term motivation. By focusing on meaningful goals, breaking them into manageable steps, and cultivating a supportive environment, we create a structure that makes motivation more accessible. Rather than waiting for motivation to appear, we learn to create it, finding ways to stay engaged even when the initial excitement fades. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on your sources of self-motivation. Ask yourself, what are the personal reasons behind my goals, and how can I remind myself of these when motivation dips? Consider writing down your goals and the reasons why they matter to you so you can revisit them whenever you need a boost. This reflection serves as a reminder that the drive to achieve is within you, ready to be reignited whenever you choose to nurture it. Chapter 8, Accountability Matters, Building a Supportive Environment. When it comes to reaching our goals, we often think about the effort we need to put in, the strategies to use, and the habits to form. But one of the most powerful, sometimes overlooked tools in achieving success is accountability. Accountability provides structure, support, and a sense of responsibility that can make a profound difference, especially on days when motivation dips. This chapter explores how building a supportive environment through accountability can help you stay committed and consistent, turning your goals from dreams into reality. Accountability means holding ourselves responsible for our actions and progress, but it can be challenging to do this alone. When we're accountable to someone else, a friend, mentor, or group, we're more likely to follow through on our commitments. Imagine someone who sets a goal to exercise regularly. If they're accountable only to themselves, it's easy to skip a workout or put it off for another day. However, if they have a workout partner or personal trainer who expects them to show up, they're far more likely to stick with their routine. Knowing that someone else is aware of their commitment creates a sense of responsibility, making it easier to overcome the urge to skip. Accountability doesn't always require a partner or mentor. It can also come from being part of a community that shares similar goals. Communities provide a space where people can support each other, celebrate successes, and offer encouragement during setbacks. For instance, consider someone who wants to improve their public speaking skills. Joining a group like Toastmasters, where members practice public speaking together, provides not only accountability, but also a sense of camaraderie. Each member is working toward a similar goal, creating an environment of mutual support. When we feel part of a community, our commitment to our goals often deepens because we're surrounded by others who understand our journey. Having an accountability partner or group is especially helpful for long-term goals that require consistent effort. Take the example of an entrepreneur launching a new business. The process involves many stages, from developing the product to marketing it to managing finances. Without accountability, it can be challenging to stay focused and motivated through each phase. But with a mentor or group of fellow entrepreneurs, they have someone to check in with, discuss progress, and share challenges. This support not only keeps them on track, but also provides valuable feedback and perspective. Accountability partners or groups help break down the journey into manageable steps, making the goal feel more achievable. Another powerful form of accountability is public commitment. When we announce our goals to others, especially to people we respect, we create a stronger sense of responsibility. For example, imagine someone who has decided to write a book. If they keep this goal to themselves, there's no pressure to follow through, and it's easy to procrastinate. But if they share their goal with friends, family, or social media followers, they create a public commitment. Now, they feel a greater sense of responsibility to keep writing, knowing others are aware of their intention. Public commitment can be a strong motivator because it taps into our desire to be seen as reliable and consistent in the eyes of others. Of course, accountability doesn't just mean reporting successes. It also involves sharing challenges and setbacks. True accountability creates a space where we can be honest about our struggles without fear of judgment. For example, someone working on a major project might experience unexpected obstacles that slow their progress. By discussing these challenges with an accountability partner, they can gain new perspectives or find encouragement to keep going. A supportive accountability partner reminds us that setbacks are part of the process, helping us stay focused on the bigger picture even when things don't go as planned. One of the best ways to build accountability into your life is by scheduling regular check-ins. This could mean weekly meetings with an accountability partner, a monthly review with a mentor, or daily progress reports in a community group. These check-ins create a routine, providing structure and consistency in your efforts. For instance, someone training for a marathon might schedule weekly check-ins with their coach to discuss their progress and challenges. These check-ins provide an opportunity to reflect, celebrate wins, and adjust goals if needed. By making accountability part of a regular routine, it becomes a natural and supportive element of the journey. Accountability also encourages us to set specific, measurable goals, which are essential for tracking progress. When we set vague goals like get in shape or be more productive, it's challenging to measure success or stay motivated. Accountability pushes us to define our goals clearly, such as run 3 times a week or complete 3 tasks by noon each day. These specific goals allow both us and our accountability partners to see tangible progress, providing a clearer path to success. For example, someone looking to improve their productivity might set a goal to complete 1 priority task each morning before checking emails. By setting this clear, specific goal and sharing it with an accountability partner, they create a structure that supports measurable progress. It's important to remember that accountability is a two-way street. If you're in a partnership or group, offering support to others can be just as motivating as receiving it. When we encourage others, we reinforce our own commitment to our goals. Think of a friend group committed to healthier living. Each member benefits not only from their own progress, but also from cheering on their friends, celebrating their victories, and offering support through struggles. This shared accountability strengthens the bond within the group and helps everyone stay committed, creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Creating accountability doesn't mean you have to share every detail of your journey. It's about finding a balance between privacy and openness that feels comfortable and supportive. Some people prefer one-on-one accountability, while others thrive in group settings. Choose the level of accountability that works best for you and aligns with your personality and goals. For instance, a more private person might choose a close friend for accountability, while someone who finds motivation in group settings might join a local or online community. The key is to find an environment that supports your progress in a way that feels natural and motivating. To harness the power of accountability, take time to identify the people or communities that can support you on your journey. Think about those who have shown understanding, encouragement, and a commitment to growth. These are the people who can help hold you accountable in a positive way. Additionally, consider how you can be an accountability partner for others. When we support others, we often find renewed energy and commitment in our own goals. As we wrap up this chapter, ask yourself, who could I partner with to create accountability, and what goal would I like to share with them? Reflect on a meaningful goal and identify someone who would be a supportive partner. Reach out to them, share your goal, and invite them to check in with you on your progress. Building accountability is about creating a network of support that keeps you motivated and committed, transforming your goals into a shared journey toward success. Chapter 9. Evaluating and Adjusting. Evolving with your goals. As we work toward our goals, it's easy to assume that success is a straightforward path from point A to point B. However, real progress often requires flexibility, self-reflection, and the willingness to make adjustments along the way. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of evaluating our progress and adapting as needed to ensure we're still moving in the right direction. Being open to change isn't about abandoning our goals. It's about evolving with them, making sure that our efforts align with our vision and adapting to the insights we gain along the way. The first step in evaluating our progress is setting aside regular time for self-reflection. When we pause to assess where we are, we gain valuable insights that can guide our next steps. Without regular check-ins, it's easy to drift off course, getting lost in routines or distractions that don't support our goals. For example, consider someone who sets out to improve their financial health by saving a certain amount each month. If they don't regularly evaluate their progress, they might find, months later, that unexpected expenses have reduced their savings. By setting aside time each month to review their finances, they can adjust their spending habits or find ways to save more effectively. Reflection allows us to identify what's working, what isn't, and what changes we might need to make to stay on track. One of the most powerful aspects of evaluating progress is learning to recognize and celebrate growth, even if it looks different from what we initially envisioned. Success doesn't always unfold exactly as planned, and sometimes our goals shift in the process. Imagine someone who starts a new fitness routine with the goal of building strength. Over time, they find that they enjoy running more than lifting weights and feel motivated to train for a race instead. By embracing this new direction, they remain committed to their overall health goals, even though their specific objectives have evolved. Flexibility allows them to stay engaged and motivated, following a path that aligns with their interests rather than forcing themselves to stick to an outdated plan. In addition to flexibility, evaluating our progress also involves honesty. When we reflect on our journey, it's essential to look at both our successes and our challenges without judgment. This kind of honest self-assessment helps us identify patterns that may be holding us back, such as procrastination, distractions, or lack of commitment. For instance, someone working on a long-term project might realize that they tend to lose momentum halfway through. By acknowledging this pattern, they can develop strategies to overcome it, like breaking the project into smaller milestones or finding an accountability partner. Honest reflection allows us to make meaningful changes that support our growth, turning setbacks into learning opportunities rather than sources of frustration. Evaluating progress also means being open to feedback from others. While self-reflection is essential, outside perspectives can offer valuable insights that we might not see on our own. Think of an artist working on a new project. They might feel satisfied with their work, but feedback from trusted friends or mentors could reveal areas for improvement. This feedback isn't a critique of their talent. It's an opportunity to refine and elevate their work. When we seek feedback, we invite growth, expanding our perspective and strengthening our skills. Embracing constructive criticism allows us to make adjustments that enhance our progress and deepen our understanding of our craft or goal. Another important aspect of evaluating progress is recognizing the value of small adjustments. Sometimes it's tempting to make drastic changes when we feel our progress has stalled. However, often a small shift is all that's needed to get back on track. For example, someone who wants to improve their productivity might try a new morning routine that doesn't suit them, feeling discouraged if it doesn't bring the results they hoped for. Instead of abandoning the goal, they could make a small adjustment, like focusing on one productive habit at a time. Small changes are often more sustainable and can lead to significant progress over time. By making gradual adjustments, we create a process that is both effective and adaptable, allowing us to keep moving forward without overwhelming ourselves. Let's look at a real-life example of someone who benefits from regular evaluation and adjustment. Consider a small business owner whose goal is to increase customer satisfaction. Initially, they might focus on improving product quality, believing it's the key to happy customers. But after evaluating customer feedback, they realized that customers also value quick and responsive customer service. By shifting their focus slightly to include customer service improvements, they better align their efforts with customer needs. This adjustment enhances their success by addressing a critical area they might have overlooked otherwise. Evaluating and adjusting in response to feedback allows them to grow in a way that aligns with their evolving goals. It's also essential to remember that adjustments are a natural part of the journey and don't mean we're failing or falling behind. Progress isn't always linear, and our goals may need to adapt to changing circumstances. For example, someone aiming to run a marathon may face an unexpected injury that limits their training. Instead of feeling defeated, they could shift their focus to recovery and strengthening exercises, eventually returning to their goal when they're ready. By adapting, they remain committed to their fitness journey without forcing themselves into a rigid timeline. Adjustments allow us to stay resilient and adaptable, honoring the process rather than becoming discouraged by temporary setbacks. As we evaluate and adjust, it's helpful to keep a record of our journey, noting what works, what doesn't, and the adjustments we make along the way. This record serves as a reminder of our progress and provides insights we can use in the future. For instance, someone pursuing a creative project might keep a journal, recording challenges, breakthroughs, and the changes they make to improve their work. Over time, this journal becomes a valuable resource, allowing them to look back, learn from their experiences, and apply those lessons to new projects. Documenting our journey turns each step into a learning opportunity, deepening our understanding of our process and helping us refine our approach. Ultimately, evaluating and adjusting teaches us to view our goals as dynamic rather than fixed. When we approach our goals with a willingness to adapt, we open ourselves to growth, learning, and unexpected achievements. This flexibility doesn't diminish our commitment, it strengthens it, allowing us to stay engaged and motivated, even when the journey takes unexpected turns. By embracing evaluation and adjustment as part of the process, we transform our goals from rigid destinations into evolving journeys of growth and discovery. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on your goals. Ask yourself, am I willing to adjust my approach if it means better aligning with my long-term vision? Consider one goal that might benefit from a small adjustment. Write down any insights you've gained and any changes you'd like to make. Embracing evaluation and adjustment empowers you to evolve with your goals, creating a journey that grows with you every step of the way. Chapter 10: Sustaining Success, Making Achievement a Lifelong Habit. Reaching a goal can feel like the ultimate accomplishment, but true success isn't just about reaching one milestone. It's about building a foundation for lasting achievement. In this final chapter, we'll explore how to turn the principles you've learned into lifelong habits, creating a cycle of success that supports you in every endeavor. Sustaining success requires commitment, adaptability, and a mindset focused on continuous growth. By incorporating what you've learned into daily practices, you can make achievement a part of your life's fabric, setting yourself up for consistent, fulfilling progress. Sustaining success starts with adopting a growth-oriented mindset. This mindset isn't just about aiming for improvement, it's about seeing each achievement as a stepping stone rather than an endpoint. Consider an artist who achieves recognition for a painting. Instead of viewing this as the peak of their career, they see it as motivation to continue developing their skills, experimenting with new techniques, and taking creative risks. By focusing on growth, rather than a single accomplishment, they remain energized and inspired, ready to pursue new challenges. This mindset helps prevent the stagnation that can sometimes follow success, keeping them engaged and excited about future possibilities. Another key to sustaining success is setting new goals that build on what you've already achieved. When we accomplish something, we gain confidence and insights that can serve as the foundation for our next steps. For instance, someone who's completed a fitness challenge might feel inspired to tackle a new goal, like training for a half marathon or exploring a different type of exercise. By setting new goals that push their abilities further, they keep building on their success, transforming each achievement into motivation for future growth. Setting these progressive goals prevents complacency, keeping the journey of success active and ongoing. Consistency remains essential for sustaining success. Just as you built habits to reach your initial goals, maintaining those habits helps you stay grounded in your achievements. Imagine someone who's cultivated a daily meditation practice to manage stress. After experiencing the benefits, they decide to keep meditation as a regular part of their life. By doing so, they protect their well-being and create a solid base that supports their continued success in other areas. When we hold on to the habits that helped us succeed, we maintain the structure and stability needed for long-term achievement. Sustaining success also involves recognizing that setbacks are part of the journey. Success isn't a constant upward path. There will be periods of challenge and even temporary regression. The key is to see these moments as opportunities for growth and to stay committed to your goals even when progress feels slow. Take, for example, a business owner who experiences a downturn after a period of growth. Rather than seeing it as a failure, they view it as a chance to refine their strategies, explore new approaches, and ultimately strengthen their business. By maintaining resilience, they navigate setbacks without losing sight of their long-term vision, using each challenge as fuel for future success. Self-reflection is another essential element of sustaining success. Regularly taking time to reflect on your achievements, challenges, and growth allows you to stay in tune with your goals and values. For example, someone who has reached a career milestone might take a step back to assess what's next. By reflecting on what they enjoy most about their work and where they'd like to make an impact, they create a vision for the future that aligns with their values. Self-reflection helps ensure that each new goal supports not just professional success, but also personal fulfillment, making the journey meaningful as well as productive. Mentorship can play a powerful role in sustaining success. When we seek guidance from others who have achieved lasting success, we gain valuable insights and perspectives that help us navigate our own journey. Imagine an athlete who's reached a high level in their sport. By connecting with a coach or mentor, they gain advice on staying motivated, managing pressure, and balancing training with rest. This support provides them with the tools to sustain their success over the long term. A mentor can offer encouragement, share experiences, and remind us of the value of persistence, helping us maintain our momentum even during challenging times. In addition to mentorship, giving back to others can be an enriching way to sustain success. Sharing our knowledge and experiences with those just starting out not only supports their growth, but also reinforces our own. For instance, a writer who has published several books might mentor aspiring authors, helping them navigate the challenges of writing and publishing. Through this exchange, the writer is reminded of their own journey, deepening their appreciation for the path they've taken. Teaching others strengthens our own understanding and rekindles the passion that originally drove us to pursue our goals. It's also essential to protect your well-being to sustain long-term success. Success can bring new demands, pressures, and expectations, which, if left unchecked, can lead to burnout. Incorporating rest, relaxation, and self-care into your routine is crucial for maintaining the energy and focus needed to pursue your goals. Think of an executive who has achieved significant career milestones. To prevent burnout, they prioritize regular breaks, spend time with loved ones, and engage in hobbies outside of work. By nurturing their well-being, they ensure they have the resilience and vitality to continue thriving. Sustainable success isn't about constant striving. It's about creating a balanced life that supports ongoing achievement. Lastly, gratitude can be a powerful tool for sustaining success. When we take time to appreciate our achievements, we reinforce the positive feelings associated with our efforts, making it easier to stay motivated. Practicing gratitude can be as simple as reflecting on one thing each day that you're proud of or thankful for. For example, an entrepreneur might end each day by listing 3 achievements, whether large or small, that contributed to their business growth. This practice shifts the focus from what's left to accomplish to the progress already made, creating a sense of satisfaction and motivating them to keep moving forward. As you embrace the path of sustaining success, remember that achievement is not a destination, but a journey of continuous growth, self-discovery, and evolution. Each accomplishment is a stepping stone, a part of the foundation on which you build the next chapter of your life. By incorporating habits of self-reflection, consistency, mentorship, and gratitude, you'll find that success becomes not just an occasional victory, but a way of life. One that supports your goals, fuels your growth, and enriches your sense of purpose. As you close this chapter, take a moment to consider, how can I build on my current success to create a foundation for future growth? Think of one habit, one goal, or one connection that can support you in sustaining success over the long term. Write it down, commit to nurturing it, and remember that with each step, you're creating a lifelong journey of achievement, fulfillment, and purpose. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing this journey toward sustained success. Throughout this book, we've explored powerful principles for achieving and maintaining meaningful progress, setting strong foundations, cultivating a growth mindset, developing consistency, building resilience, managing time, nurturing self-motivation, fostering accountability, adjusting to challenges, and embracing lifelong learning. Each chapter provided tools to help you develop habits that not only bring success, but also make it lasting and fulfilling. Remember, success isn't a single destination, but an evolving journey that grows with you. Thank you for investing the time to enhance your potential. If you found this content helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insights and motivation. We'd love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions you have as you continue your path to achievement. Stay connected, stay inspired, and keep building a life of purpose and success.